Just like a
Just a general
Yes,
synopsis.
of course. The Shannara Chronicles is based on the novel by Terry Brooks. It's the second novel in sort of this first trilogy. Is 26 books. Shannara it's a fantasy book. What sort of distinguishes it from other fantasies is that it's our world in the future. It's our world thousands of years in the future. So it's not Middle-earth, it's not Westeros. And Shannara is actually the name of a family. It's a bloodline, and it's the person, the Shannara are the last ones with actual magic in their blood. So this story, this book tells the story of three young people: Will Olmsford, who is actually the last son of Shannara; Amberly Elizadel, who is a princess and a member of the Chosen; and Eritrea, who is a rover and human. And the big story is there is the elves have this tree called the Elfries. It's been around for tens of thousands of years, and the myth of the Elfries is that it holds back something called the Forbidding, which is filled with demons. And for them, it's a myth the way that we have myths. Nobody actually believes it's true anymore. Every year, 7 young people are chosen to watch over the Elfries, and it's sort of an honor in elven society. And it's always been boys. And this year, Amberly runs. There's a gauntlet that they run.
This is the short version.
This is sorry.
We have nothing but time, so
I'm sorry.
So give us all.
And she's chosen, and then we find out that the Elfries is dying, and that she has to go on a quest to save the Elfries with Will and Eritrea. That not super short version, but there you go.
How are you guys handling the balance between practical effects and special effects and trying to show this world?
So it's a real balance. We have incredible CG. So, for example, the city visuals and city landscapes we created are done by the same company that did Game of Thrones cities. So the highly elevated visual effects. But also we have Weta Workshop in New Zealand who's did all the practical effects for and makeup effects for Lord of the Rings. I've done a lot of our creature design, and the big villain in the first season is called the Dagtamor, and that makeup effect was designed and created by Weta. So it's a real combination of CG and practical. We really wanted it to feel real, so we didn't want it to feel animated or cartoony.
It's real landscapes. We went to New Zealand. We shot everything there. So we added stuff. So nothing was done like on a green screen stage.
We didn't want CG environments. I mean, there was a lot of CG in the show, but it's CG enhancements rather than fully realized CG, which always has an animated feel.
So when you're planning world building like this, and just to kind of expand on the topic, how do you actually determine what to use as real and what's CG? Is it just based purely on what's possible, or is it based on, this makes sense to do this?
It's both. So for us, it's a lot of time in pre-production, designing and conceptualizing the environments, and really for this one, it's about originality. So it's a fantasy show, but actually set in the future, so there's a science fiction element. It's much more like Star Wars than it is Lord of the Rings, in many ways, in terms of the visual design. And we're really very sensitive to the idea that would be compared to Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. So the design elements, we really try to stay clear of that and be very distinct and different. So I think we feel good and confident that our visual landscapes and the visualization of this world is very unique and original.
How involved is Terry Brooks in this production?
Terry's been integral from the beginning in terms of the inception of the show. We sat down with Terry when we first read the book and said, this is our plan, this is what we intend, this is our vision for the show. And Terry has been with us every step of the way. It's very loyal to the book and very true to the book, but also it's its own thing. And I think it feels very contemporary and very cutting edge in terms of what it deals with. And we expanded on themes and relationships in the books. And obviously we don't have the budget to do epic battles that are in the book, but we have, I think, expanded the relationships and the emotion that Terry outlines in the book and made it much more of a television show.
How did you decide to do the Elfstones of Shannara over starting with the first book, Sword of Shannara?
Well, interestingly, that was Terry's call. and he actually, thought when we came onto it, they pitched us Elfstones, and we read the book and thought it was fantastic. But they decided to start with that, and you see why. It's a great story, it has an amazing ending, it has a great love triangle in the middle of it, which is not something you have in a lot of fantasy. A lot of fantasies are sort of like, a lot of men of different ethnicities and races going off on an adventure. So, you have, it's sort of multi-generational, there's a great sort of young love story in the middle. I mean, if you think about it, this book was published in 1982, and this would be a hot YA book today. You know what I mean? It has all the elements 33 years ago of what people are dying for. When you see, when you realize like how many things have sort of borrowed from Terry. You know what I mean? You look at Avatar, you look at all of these other things. It's sort of interesting the pieces when you read Shannara and other things that you've seen. Harry Potter and all these other sort of books that have come after it and movies and things. So, but that was actually his call, and I think it's the right call because it's. And I also think, quite honestly, I think it's the most popular book in the series.
Can you talk a little bit about how important launching this series at Comic-Con is for you guys?
Launching this series at Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Terry's a living legend at Comic-Con. I mean, as he should be in terms of his contribution to fantasy is second to none. And it felt like the right place to launch the show. There's such an avid fan base that spans generations of people who have grown up with the books, who introduced their children to the books, so it felt like the perfect place to get a sneak peek of what we've done over the last year in terms of making this a reality. So it felt like the perfect place for it.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.